All right, so today we're going to look at rollout and rollback. We're going to see an example of what a rollout is from a deployment. One unique thing about Kubernetes is it gives you the ability to make updates to your deployments. Where maybe you want a new version of the image or whatever, okay? Now, whenever you make updates, okay, a rollout is triggered whenever you are updating the image of whenever you're updating the image of your deployments. Okay, so I'll just jump straight into the labs. Okay, the prerequisite is have K3S, but make sure you read all this stuff here. Okay, they are very important for you to understand the underlying concept behind it. Okay, so in this lab, we are going to create a deployment called test deploy. Okay, we're going to assign an image of Nginx, and we're going to give 3 replicas. All right, and then we'll create this deployment, and then we'll make an update to the image, and then see the rollout, check the rollout status. If it triggers a rollout, okay, we'll see what that is. We can switch and then see what exactly what's going on. Okay, so I will just 1 second. All right, so this is my my K3S environment. Okay, so let me check what I currently have. kubectl get pods, and then I have a bunch of pods here. Okay, and if I do kubectl get deployments, okay, I have 3 deployments. Okay, that created all these pods here. All right, so I'll create 1 more deployment. Okay, we're going to call it test deploy. All right, so I will go over here and use this command kubectl create deployment. It's going to test deploy. It's going to give you 3 replicas. Okay, and then so it's created our deployment. So if I do kubectl get deployments, I see I have my test deployed 3/3, 3 pods running. Okay, 3 containers running in those pods, and everything's up and available. Okay, now what if I want to make an update? Let's say, for example, I want to make an update and change the image. Okay, I'll do the command kubectl set image. Now specify deployment. Okay, so I'll specify deployment dot v1 dot apps and slash the name of the deployment. Okay, and then now I'll specify the image I want to change. Okay, now this is the container name. Okay, if I then what I'll do is I'll do image. Let's say I want image Nginx image. This is exactly what I'm doing. Let's say I want Nginx image 1.16.1. Okay, I'll do Nginx 1.16.1. Okay, when I hit enter, you see the image has been updated. Now, this singular act of updating the image, it triggers a rollout. All right, a rollout. All right. Then once I do kubectl, okay, get describe deployment tests deploy. Okay, see what's happening here. Okay, it shows me here I have this new image, Nginx 1.16.1. Okay, let's just change it 1 more time. All right, let's change it back to just Nginx. All right, once I change it again, it will roll out another deployment. Okay, to do another rollout. So once I hit enter here and I do kubectl describe, okay, you see it has changed it back to Nginx. Okay, so let's switch it back to that other version. Okay, let's switch it back to this. Okay, so it has rolled it out. So I've done like rollout like 3 times. Okay, we'll get to see the blueprints or the mappings of the different versions of rollout. Okay, now the beauty of Kubernetes is that if something goes wrong, okay, you can undo your rollouts. Okay, you can roll back into another version. Okay, for example, let's say where were we? Okay, let's say we made a mistake. Okay, maybe while you're rolling out the deployment. Okay, your rollout just basically helps you make updates to your pod. All right, makes updates to your deployment. Now, let's say, for example, as you're doing your rollout and then something goes wrong, maybe the image is wrong or something. Okay, so let's mess with the image name and let's set it to something that maybe doesn't exist, like maybe like a version 1.1.191. Okay, let's say, for example, okay, change this to set the image to, let's say I set the image to 1.190. Okay, this image doesn't exist. Okay, by the time you hit enter, okay, it has triggered a rollout. Okay, but watch now what happens when we do kubectl get pod, get deployments. Okay, you see here, okay, I'll get deployments. These are test deploy. You see here is there's one updates. Let's see, hold on. Let's do kubectl. Okay, our pods are still running. Sorry, kubectl gets get pod. Sorry, I didn't get one. Okay, good. So this gives us better clarity. Okay, now see our test deploy. Okay, you see there's an image pull back off. Okay, so our pod, there's an issue here. It's trying to come up, but it's not coming up. It's trying to come up, but it's not coming up. Okay, we still have these ones. It's still trying to come up. So there's a problem here. Okay, so what we could do when there's an issue, when you're trying to make an update to a particular image and something goes wrong, you can just, what you can do is you can roll back to the one that is working. Okay, you can roll back to the one that's working. So you can find out exactly what's happening with your deployment by checking the status. Okay, so to do that, you just do kubectl rollout status and then specify the deployment name, the deployment name. Okay, so let's see what has been happening with our deployment. So if I use this command, kubectl rollout status, okay, so you see here, see what's going on here. All right, it's trying to roll out, but it's unable to, because what's happening is that it's still waiting for the deployment to complete because of this issue here. All right, because of this issue, it still has the old one, right, but it's unable to roll out the new version because of this particular problem. All right, so how do we fix this? Okay, so it's waiting for deployment, test deploy, rollout to finish. Okay, 1 out of 3 new replicas have been updated. All right, so there's an issue somewhere. Okay, so I just do Control-Z and stop that process. All right, so how do we fix this? You can fix it by rolling back. All right, you can fix it by rolling back. Okay, so when you do your kubectl get pod, you see that, hey, This is your existing deployment, all right? This tree. And then it's starting, it wants to start another tree, but it's stuck here. You want to roll out another, but it's stuck here. So there's an issue, okay? So how do? You can roll back, okay? You can roll back to the previous version, the last working version. And to do that, okay, you can just do rollout undo. Once you do kubectl rollout undo, and then you specify the deployment, it will go back to the last version of your rollout. Okay, and remember, okay, let's say from our kubectl describe deployments, describe deployment tests, deploy. Okay, we find out that it is in version. This is the new version now. Okay, for our new deployment, and this doesn't exist, right? This does not exist, but it has not yet rolled out successfully yet because of that issue that is still trying to pull the image. If you see here now, the old replica set is 3, okay, that was there. It's trying to create new replica set, and it is still in 1. It has not completed 1. Okay, so we want to roll back to the one that was working before, and I think that's version 1.16.1. Okay, so what we'll just do is we'll just do kubectl roll out, okay, undo, okay, then deployment /test deploy. Okay, it will roll out to version, I think it is version 1.16.1, if I'm not wrong, or just the engine. So once I hit enter, it has rolled back. Okay, when you do rollback undo, it will roll back. Okay, if you do rollout, it will, so do rollout undo, it rolls back. Okay, so it has rolled back. All right. Now, if we do our kubectl describe deployment, you see it has changed. Okay, it has changed to this version. And if you do kubectl get pod, okay, yep. So you see, this is our pod. We rolled back to the previous deployment that was running. Okay, that was running very fine. So what if you want to roll out to a specific version? Okay, you remember, okay, we did series of rollouts. Remember, a deployment rollout is triggered whenever you change the pod template parameter, the pod template. Whenever you change the image, okay? So we changed the image, all right? We updated the image, and then a rollout triggered, okay? We updated the image, another rollout triggered. We updated the image, another rollout triggered. Now, the beauty of Kubernetes is that the deployment process versions your different rollout states. So you can go to a particular rollout state. Okay. Now, how do you know the different, the history of your rollouts, that deployment rollout that has been triggered? You use the command kubectl rollout history. Okay. So you just go over here. I'll just copy this command. Okay. I'll do kubectl rollout history and specify the deployment. All right. So I'll paste this here, and okay, so you see here, there is a version. These are the different versions, okay? I have, you see, 3, 5, and 6. Okay, 3, 5, and 6. Now you can go to any specific version that you want. All right. You can go to, let's say, want to go to version 5. Okay. Remember, if let's say you want to go to a specific version. Okay, you want to go to a specific version. All right. To do that, okay, you use the command kubectl rollout, undo, deployment, and then you specify to revision whatever you want. Okay. Now, assuming version, we don't have 3. Okay, we have 3 here. Assuming version 3 is, I'm not sure what version of this thing is, but let's see the current version we have. Describe deployment. We have here, these are image 1.16.1. Okay. Now let's roll out to 3. Let's do our rollout undo to version 3. So let's say we're doing it to revision 3. Okay, want to roll out to 3. So when you okay, I think I'm making my revision. Okay. Let me just copy this here. All right, so it has rolled back to revision 3. Okay, if I do my kubectl describe deployment, this is revision 3. Okay, let's check our rollback history one more time. Okay, this is our rollback history. It has 5, 6, and 7. We are currently in 3. Okay, we are currently in 3. All right. So let's say we want to revise to 7. All right. Let's revise to 7. Let's roll out to revision 7. Okay. We skip this rollout because the current template. Okay. So the current template matches 7. Let's roll out to 6. Okay. So it has rolled back to revision 6. If you do your kubectl describe deployment, division 6 is 1.61. Okay, so every of your deployment, it creates a record of your rollout, your different rollouts. Be it if you're changing your images or stuff like that. Okay, this helps you, to be able to control. Maybe if you're doing something, you're making an update within your Kubernetes space, okay, and then you're not getting the desired outputs. All right, you're not getting desired outputs. This can actually help you. Okay, it can actually help you to go back. Okay, when things are messed up, roll out and roll back helps you, to kind of still be in control. All right, before a deployment happens, okay, you make sure that it gets the desired state. The desired state is not yet achieved. It's not going to proceed until, if it's now fixed, you can now roll back or roll out to whatever state you have. Okay, so I'm going to stop this recording here and open it.